Okay, another question is very China-specific. In China, like filial piety is the essence of our 5,000-year culture, which means you have to be very obedient to your parents, listen to them, bonded with them. But with the transition of time right now in the modern society, many of the old concepts doesn't work anymore. So, but I see many people are still attached to their parents and entangled with their parents, which will impact their welfare, happiness, and independency. Can you shed some light on this?
I don't think filial piety has been the way of life for 5,000 years. It cannot be in any society. Maybe it has been there for the last maybe a few hundred years. I would say that is the downfall of a society. Maybe China, which was a great culture at one time, went down mainly because of this filial piety, because what this means is obedience is all. Obedience means there is an authority. It may be a parent, it may be a priest, it may be God, or it may be a scripture. Whatever the authority says must be right. This will destroy human intelligence. If you make authority the truth, then everything is destroyed. Truth should be the only authority. The next generation should do something that we could not imagine possible. Only then it is fruitful to have a next generation. If the next generation is going to take instructions from us on all levels and do only what we want, then it's a meaningless next generation. There is nothing next about it. It is just graveyard of the past popping up in future, which is waste of life. We produce a next generation because we believe it's a new possibility. If it's not a new possibility, it just takes instructions from the old, then it's a no good new generation. And instead of those, because of their authoritative nature, who could not earn the necessary love and affection from their children, love, affection, respect must be earned, must never be demanded. The moment you demand it, it becomes ugly. So at least in the parent-child relationship, it's important that respect, love, affection, one must earn. If you simply demand it, you become an authority. If you are an authority, you will always be resented. So if resentment is the basis of one's relationship, it can never be beautiful. It has to become ugly after some time. Above all, it stagnates a society. I think it's good that you mentioned this because China is a clear example of a great culture becoming stagnant over a period of time and going down completely. Now once again, you came up not because you became obedient, you came up because of a revolution. A revolution means the young generation started doing something that the parents never imagined possible.
Yes. So yeah, here comes another related question, which means in China, people tend to choose to live the right way, which means in accordance with the mainstream value. But if they want to seek for self-value or the meaning of life or higher goal, which will in conflict with what their parents or the society agrees. So what's your suggestion? How should we live our life the best? And then how to live like truthfully and naturally?
Truth is a natural happening. If you invent it, that's called a lie. Truth is not something that you invent. Truth is something that you realize. Lie is something that you invent. So you don't have to say truthfully, naturally. What is natural is truth. So, should one follow the precepts of the past, or should one come to something new? There should not be a compulsion about breaking the rules of the past, nor there should be a compulsion that you must only do it the way of the past. It is important that every generation looks at what is really needed, what is not needed. If you do not discard the garbage that you develop in your house, after some time, your whole house will be a garbage bin, isn't it? Every day you must throw out the garbage, then only the house is clean. Similarly in our lives, many things that don't work, we must throw them out on a daily basis. If we don't do that, as a culture, if you don't do it for hundreds of years, then you become stagnant. When you become stagnant, nothing works. Well, as a culture, the Chinese people have experienced this. That is why a revolution was needed to break that mold. Don't once again go into the same thing. Now, revolution need not be one big upheaval in a society. Revolution is the way we think. Right now, if we are constantly looking for better ways of doing every aspect of our life, I'm saying from the simplest, if you just start looking, what is the best way to sit? Invariably you will come to me, you will want to learn yoga. If you start looking, what is the best way to breathe? I'm saying these are all vital things. What is the best way to eat? What is the best way to manage my body? If you just start thinking like this, you will start doing yoga. That is, you will start approaching your physical and mental well-being in a scientific manner. Similarly, what is the best way to interact between two neighbors? If you look at it truthfully, then you will arrive at a science what works best between neighbors, rather than trying to weave a philosophy around it. So, the philosophies of the past also might have been sense at one time, which turned into a kind of a precept over a period of time, then it turned into a law, then it turned into a belief system, then it becomes a religion over a period of time. Instead of that, we have to come to our senses about everything. But will we arrive at an ultimate answer for everything? Maybe not, because changing realities are there. So one way of looking at life is, first and fundamental thing is, there is substantial scientific and medical evidence to show you that your body and your brain will function at its best only when you're joyful. So first thing is this, that you have a body and brain which works well. You have a functioning brain. If this has to happen, you must be in a pleasant state of experience. So first thing is to become joyful by your own nature. If you manage this, you have a functioning brain. Have you noticed this? When you're happy, you find solutions. When you're unhappy, you create problems. Have you not noticed this in every situation in your life? So, this is important. The first and basic thing, this is not done. People think pursuit of happiness is to be achieved. You must be successful towards the end of your life. No, this is the very first thing, that you are joyful by your own nature. Now you have a functioning intelligence, which is not encumbered by any compulsions. You are in pursuit of happiness means you are encumbered by all kinds of compulsions. I am joyful means you are not encumbered by anything. Now you can look at things just the way they are. Only if you see things just the way they are, not from a prejudiced mind, simply the way they are, then you will also come up with solutions every day, better and better solutions. If you cannot even see what is there because you have prejudiced opinions about everything, then how a solution will come when you don't even figure the problem? How will you come up with a solution?